How to be a full stack developer? To be specific, on this channel we get this question, how to be a full stack Java developer or how to be a full stack Python developer. Let's understand what do we mean by full stack development. So we are living in a virtual world, right? So for every problem we have a virtual solution, or maybe we are solving that problem with the help of some softwares, right? Some solution. Now this software has multiple layers, right? So if we talk about different layers, we have presentation layer, we have business layer, and then we have the database layer. Now presentation layer is something where the user interacts. Let's say if you are going to Amazon.com, you are accessing the website, right? You are accessing some pages. Now that's your presentation layer. Now you can also talk about app here. So let's say if you are using Amazon app on your phone, that's the presentation layer because you are only accessing that app, right? But then the processing of it, so the moment you buy something, when you add something to a cart, or when you search for a product, all this search or all these activities are going on the server where you have the business logic. So as your requirement will change, your business logic will also change. So that's your business layer. And then we have a database layer, right, where you will put your data, of course, right? So this is information age, so everything should be stored somewhere. And that's why we have a database layer. Now question arises, if you want to build this application, what are the technologies you should learn? So if we talk about industry, for different layers we have different professionals who work with it. Example, we have experts in presentation layer, we have experts in business layer, and then we have experts in database layer. Now when I started my career, I started with business layer, okay? So I wanted to be a Java developer, and Java developer works on the business layer. Now question arises, why not presentation layer? It's because presentation layer can be done by those people who are creative. Because you have to give your user a good UI with a good UX. And to build a good UI with UX, you need creativity. You have to understand users. You have to understand color mapping as well. So when you go to any website, there's an amazing color mapping which is happening. So when you see a great design, so we have some animations, we have some great fonts. I'm not that good with that. So I thought, let's stick to the business part. Now we have experts for database as well. So we have people who are doing, their certifications in Oracle or maybe Mysql, or maybe we also have NoSQL databases, right? We have MongoDB. So if you want to be on any layer, you have to learn those technologies. So if you want to be on presentation layer, you have to learn HTML. That's how you build design, right? So you have to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Those are the technologies which we use in front end. Okay, now there's one more thing. With this, you should also learn how to use Photoshop, how to use CorelDRAW, right? All the designing softwares. Maybe you will also use some tools which you can design your website initially, not exactly running model, but at least the sketch of it. If you want to be on the business layer, we have so many languages you can learn. We have PHP, we have Java, we have C#, we have Python, and then nowadays we can also use JavaScript on the business layer. That's right, you heard it right. So we can also use JavaScript on that layer, and that is with the help of some frameworks. Now, I don't know if you've heard about mean stack. So we have MongoDB, Express.js, AngularJS, and Node.js. So using the entire stack, right? So using this stack, you can build the entire software. Now you might be hearing that word stack from a long time. Now stack simply means, we have one above the other. So this is only the representation. So we have the presentation, on top of that we have business layer. So the user will interact with presentation, presentation will interact with business, business will interact with database. That's why we call it as stack. So you can use mean to do this complete stuff. And then we have database, right? So you can use Mysql, you can use Oracle, you can use Postgres, or you can also use MongoDB, right? So we can use all those layers. Now till this point, people were doing expertise in one, right? So some people, they are very creative, they work in designing, people who work with logic, they work in business, and people who love databases, they work on the top layer. But now some companies, especially startups and then big four companies, they prefer someone known as the full stack developer. Oh, that simply means from start to end, everything will be done by you. That's amazing, right? So you are responsible to make design, you are responsible to build the business logic, and you are responsible to work with database as well. And trust me, that's something which excites everyone. So the entire application belongs to you. So company does prefer that because, the advantage of hiring a full stack developer. So full stack developer knows everything. So it will be easier for he or she to build the entire page. There is no communication gap. So we don't have two different teams to handle. So they know each other. So even if you have 3 full stack developers, they know what they are talking about. So there's no miscommunication. And then these people, there's one more advantage. So if you are a full stack developer, the big advantage you have is you know all. So you are jack of all the technologies. But that's also a drawback. The drawback with these people who are full stack developers, especially the freshers, they are jack of all but master of none. Because you know all, but you're not able to master on any specific technology. And that's one drawback which I feel of being a full stack developer. But that's fine, right? So the moment you start working on projects, the moment you spend more time with some technology, it will increase, right? Yes, your time will be divided in different technologies. It will take more time for you to master all those technologies. And I feel you don't even have to master them, because for you, what's important is build the project which works efficiently. So if you want to be a full stack developer, it's very easy. Learn the front-end technologies. You can go for JavaScript. So learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And then, in JavaScript as well. So when you say front-end, you can also use Angular. You can also use React or Vue. So that's something you can work on. For middle layer, which is the business layer, you can work with Java, which is one of the best enterprise language. You can go for PHP, you can go for Python, you can go for ASP.NET or C#. That's the option you have. And then on top layer, if you want to work with database, you have to use all the database which I mentioned. Now, when you say database, you have to also learn the concept of caching, right? Because you want your software to work very efficiently. You want data fetching should be fast. So you can improve that as well. But again, when you start initially, you don't have to worry about the caching part. You don't have to worry about the big languages here. Yes, it is important to choose a good business language, because in future as well, you have to upgrade that. You don't want to learn each and every business language. So let's say if you stick to Java, that's great. If you stick to Python, that's great. So just stick to one technology, at least for 1 or 2 years, and then you can start experimenting. There's also an advantage of learning multiple languages. So you can use the concept of one language in another language, because not all the languages have same concepts inbuilt. But then what about if you want to go for full stack Java developer? So the only thing is the bottom part and the top part will remain same, right? The front technology will be same. The backend technology, database will be same. What will change is business layer. That will be Java. If you say you are full stack Python developer, that will be your Python middle layer. In fact, in the presentation, we can also go with apps. So nowadays, we are building websites and apps as well, right? So when you say presentation, it may be app as well. That's important. So now, the moment you say full stack dash developer, so middle layer will change. And one of the best full stack development stack now is mean stack. Or you can also use MERN stack, which is React in there. So that's how you can be a full stack developer. If you have any more concerns, let me know in the comment section, and also let me know what is your thought on being full stack developer. So that's it, everyone. Bye bye.